There was a boy who never stood up for himself. His name was Ryan, and he was a college student. He was very quiet and kind-hearted, but he had a weakness. He couldn't stand up for himself. He would always let others push him around. One day, as he was walking through the park on his way to school, a group of boys approached him. They were the popular kids, the kind of kids that everyone feared. Ryan felt a chill down his spine as they walked towards him, but he didn't try to run away. The leader of the pack was a tall, muscular boy named Brad. He had a menacing stare and a cruel smile that could send shivers down anyone's spine. As they closed in on Ryan, Brad sneered at him and said, "Well, well, if it isn't the little worm, Ryan. What are you doing here?" Ryan tried to ignore him and keep walking, but Brad blocked his path. "I asked you a question, Ryan. Do you want me to repeat it?" he asked, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Ryan knew he couldn't just walk away. Brad and his goons were blocking the entire sidewalk, so he was trapped.
What do you want?"
Ryan asked, his voice shaking slightly. Brad's smile widened. "Oh, nothing much. Just wanted to see how much bigger you've gotten," he said, his eyes gleaming with mischief. "And also wanted to tell you that your locker is all yours now." Ryan's heart sank. He knew what Brad was doing. He and his friends were trying to intimidate him, trying to make him feel small. But this time, it was different. This time it was too much. For years, Ryan had been the target of bullies. They would tease him, shove him around, and call him names. But he had never fought back. He didn't know how to. He didn't even know why they picked on him. But he did know that he was sick and tired of being treated like a doormat. As Brad leaned in close to him, his face inches away from Ryan's, something inside Ryan snapped. It was like a switch had been flipped, and a fire had been lit. Ryan pushed Brad away from him, and he felt a surge of anger course through his veins. "What did you say?" Brad asked, his voice tight with surprise. No one had ever stood up to him before, much less pushed him away. "You heard me," Ryan said, his voice shaking with anger. "Stay away from me and my things." Brad was taken aback by Ryan's sudden outburst. He wasn't sure what had come over the usually meek and mild-mannered Ryan. But he wasn't about to back down. "Well, so you think you're tough now, Ryan," he said, his eyes narrowing. "You think you can stand up to me?" Ryan didn't respond. He just glared at Brad, his fists clenched. In that moment, Brad realized that he had made a mistake. He had pushed Ryan too far. He knew he should have just left Ryan alone, but his pride wouldn't let him back down. He took a step towards Ryan, his face twisted with anger. "I'm going to teach you a lesson you won't forget," he snarled. And with that, he lunged towards Ryan. Ryan was taken aback by Brad's sudden attack, and he stumbled backwards, tripping over a tree root in the process. Brad was on top of him in an instant, raining down punches and kicks. Ryan curled up into a ball, trying to protect himself, but it was no use. Brad and his friends beat him up badly. As they were running away, Ryan looked up at the sky, tears streaming down his face. He couldn't believe that he had lost. Deep down, he knew that this was just the beginning. From that day on, things were never the same between Ryan and Brad. There was a newfound respect between them. Brad never tried to mess with Ryan again. And though Ryan still had his moments of insecurity, he knew that he didn't have to let others push him around. He had the strength inside of him to stand up for himself,